And we're back on Take Action News. This is Daniel Marins in for David Shuster today on Saturday, February 23rd. And we welcome all of our listeners across the country and, of course, in Chicago, Columbus, Grand Rapids, parts of Oklahoma in particular. You can obviously catch up on Take Action News, even when we're not doing the show live, on our iTunes podcast. Check us out on iTunes. You can also download our podcast on Stitcher. And, of course, to watch Take Action News TV, watch our video clips on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/takeactionnewstv. Again, that's youtube.com/takeactionnewstv. There were some exciting developments on the immigration reform front this week. It all started this past Sunday when President Obama's Chief of Staff, Dennis McDonough, appeared on CBS Face the Nation. He appeared to cause some controversy because he announced or let slip that the president, the White House, did in fact have a backup immigration reform plan should bipartisan talks stall. He said that the plan would include a path to citizenship that would take either 8 years waiting online or right after the last people waiting online legally would get their visas. Obviously, that is an extremely long time. 8 years after the law takes effect, that's a lot of time for people that have been living here undocumented for a long time, worried about being deported, worried about accessing our social services, coming down in a very rather conservative place relative to the immigration debate, the kind of conservative place that may be needed to get reform moving forward. Now, that prompted a backlash. Senator Marco Rubio in particular, who is trying to shore up his conservative bona fides, call it a half-baked plan that effectively poisoned the well for bipartisan immigration reform. He took the president to task repeatedly in public, saying that it was completely different from his plan and that it would harm efforts to achieve reform. The president apparently followed up, calling 3 Republican senators who have been some of the leading point people on immigration in the Senate. Marco Rubio, Republican senator from Florida, Senator John McCain, Republican senator from Arizona, and the Republican Senator Lindsey Graham from South Carolina. Apparently, the president was trying to make sure that the water was still warm, that the bond was still there, that the ability to forge a compromise over immigration would still be possible. Now, what exactly is the dance going on here? Clearly, the issue is that a path to citizenship, or as Republicans call it, many rank-and-file conservative Republicans call it, amnesty, is extremely unpopular with the conservative Republican base. And so for a figure like Marco Rubio, who is clearly aspiring to be a presidential candidate in 2016, to shore up his base, to make sure that this gets Republican support, to make sure that he's a viable candidate in 2016 as well, he needs to show that he is fighting the president every step of the way, that this is not the president's plan, that this is his plan, and that it's effectively a conservative plan. John McCain was out on recess this past week in his home state of Arizona, talking with constituents in his favorite format, the town hall format. He did many of them, and he showed through some of his conversations just how treacherous the terrain can be for some sitting Republican members of Congress with their conservative base. Here's a comment that Senator McCain encountered at one of his town halls in Arizona.
Senator, I remember when you were in bed with Kennedy.
In bed with Kennedy, thank you. That conjures up a specter that I have to reject, sir. Thank you for the compliment. Again, sir, you're not telling these people the truth. They wash our, they mow our lawns. They care for our babies. They clean. They wash up. Those people do, sir.
Senator McCain getting creative in his response there, showing a little bit of a sense of humor, I would say, in that making a joke about being in bed with Kennedy, not exactly something that anyone really wants to have to deal with, a particularly rude comment, but he was able to brush it off. But he also made a significant policy point that I think is somewhat brave for a Republican member of Congress to make, that undocumented immigrants do the jobs that we all depend on, that they are American and as committed to being American as just about anybody. As Senator McCain said, they mow our lawns and care for our babies. And the least we can do is offer them a chance to get at the back of the line in terms of immigration. Senator McCain also fielded a question about the border fence.
So you're wrong again, but go ahead.
Cut off their welfare and all their stuff and they'll go back. You said build a dang fence. Where's the fence?
In case you missed it, I showed you
That's not a fence.
it's not a fence, it's a banana. We're putting up a banana with about $600 million worth of appropriations we have.
That's not a fence, it's a banana. Senator McCain, again, showing a little bit of appreciation of irony here. His own constituents saying there is no fence preventing illegal immigrants from getting into the state of Arizona. Senator McCain answering, well, actually, we just spent $600 million on a fence. Sorry, it's not just a banana. And the truth is that border security has improved significantly in the past 4 years. Immigration experts on the right and the left have conceded that. Some people believe that may have come at the expense of the human rights of some undocumented immigrants in this country, as President Obama has ratcheted up deportations, deporting an unprecedented number of undocumented immigrants, as many as 1.4 million people, including women and children and their families. But Senator McCain, again, illustrating some of the delicate balance that it takes to sell immigration reform to a wary conservative base.